on the final day of the regular season. Now, Dan, for the players tomorrow, it begins the offseason, but you don't have an offseason. Actually, it probably begins tomorrow for the front offices around the league. Now, when you look back to last year, I mean, it's always a challenge to keep your free agent players when you factor in the free agent cost and then the players eligible for raises and arbitration. Now, we know how tough it was last year. Are you expecting this offseason to be even more of a challenge for you?
Well, we have a number of free agents on this team, and we're going to make an effort to sign the good players for our ball club. You know, the thing that I always point to is we try to get the right balance of a good team every year. And make no mistake about it, we're going to need to help our pitching staff to have another good team next year. And I think that's where the focus of our offseason is going to be.
You know, as teams have come into Baltimore this year and listening to other GMs, there seems to be this phrase, it's the cost of doing business in today's game. And what they're referring to is the players trying to get that extra year, maybe a couple of extra years in a free agent contract. Are you beginning to see that as well?
Well, there's always a premium on the free agent market, and that's usually a 20 to 25% premium built in. And in some cases, it's the extra years on the contract. In other cases, you have to pay a little bit more money. In some cases, you got to do both, pay more money and extend the contract. But, you know, baseball is very healthy. It's got a robust market, media market for it, and it's growing on a worldwide basis. So the players' salaries are increasing. What we try to do is to keep it affordable for our fans. So we have a good team that's funded by a strong payroll that our fans can afford to come and see and enjoy a game. So that's what we're going to continue to do, and those will be our goals next season too.
Dan, you know, one of the guys on the ball club that's indicated he may be willing to sign an extension to his contract is Manny Machado. What are your thoughts about getting that done early?
How about Manny Machado? What about the year that he had? He's a terrific player. There's been a couple of contracts for young players in the market, like the Mike Trout contract. They really extended the market, and, you know, make no mistake about it, this kid's a great player. We'd like to have him here for a long time.
And Chris Davis, I guess everybody's wondering, he's had an outstanding year again, too, and everybody's wondering what your thoughts on that. Is it going to be really, really difficult for him?
Well, that's going to be a challenge. Chris has had a couple of really good years, and he had a terrific year this year with the 45 home runs. And, you know, there's not a lot of left-handed power on the market, so that's going to be tough. But we like Chris Davis, and we'd like to have him back if we can.
Dan, explain to us how it actually works when you go into an off-season. Now, you obviously have a big staff, and they're always doing work for you. How does the organization approach tomorrow with your off-season goals and your plans?
Well, we've been working on that for the last couple of weeks, and what we do is we take a look at what this club did and then what we need to get back to the playoffs. So this club, for example, you know, we scored the exact same number of runs as we did last year. It's like 704 to 705, but we gave up almost 90 more. So we're going to have to focus on better pitching for next year's ball club, and that's what we've already decided. And then, of course, we're going to have a better DH. Depending on what happens with Chris Davis, we may need a first baseman. And then we take a look at what we have in our minor league. You know, Trey Mancini was out here yesterday. He had a good year. Michael Givens emerged from the minor leagues, did a really strong job this year. And Brad Brock, of course, developed in a big league, so that gives us some hope for next year in our bullpen. But Ubaldo Jimenez came back and had a good year this year, so I think that helps our starting pitching. But we got to get back on track and have a stronger starting pitching for next year, and that's where our focus needs to be.
Well, left-handed pitching is also a premium, and Chen is another guy too that's, you know, everybody's kind of pulling at him, you know. We got to find ways to try to keep those kind of guys.
Yeah, I like Chen. He's really been a dependable pitcher for us, and he had that good game yesterday, and he's even won a couple of playoffs for us. So he's a very dependable pitcher, and, of course, we like him, too.
Dan, there's going to be several tiers of free agent pitching on the market this offseason. And I'm curious, is it easier for a club to make a trade for a frontline starter, maybe somebody who has emerged as a frontline starter and has some years ahead, or is it simply go out and write a check and hope that they accept your offer?
Well, hopefully we'll have a couple of pitchers that'll help our ball club from the minors. Mike Wright won 12 games total this year, 3 in the big leagues, 9 in AAA. Hopefully he can come up and help our team. We'd like to see Kevin Gausman take a stride and be a front of the rotation starter. Ty Wilson came up and did a nice job. So hopefully we'll have a base of pitching in our minor leagues, and then we're going to have to add via trade as well as free agency to strengthen our pitching staff.
Dan, to kind of change pace here a little bit, we've got some young players in the minor league like Harvey and young players like him that are really trying to get healthy. I mean, how much are they going to mean to this ball club next year?
Well, if we had Hunter Harvey and Dylan Bundy, that would make us stronger. And there's a possibility that they could heal over the wintertime and be in a position to help us at some point next year. So that would be good. Our Double-A team won the Eastern League Championship, so we should have a base of talent there to help our team, so that's good. And I like our management team. Buck does a great job, and our bullpen's been strong the last couple of years, so I think our work is well defined. We need to – our starting pitching was 14th in the league.
Right.
Okay, we got to do better.
Yeah. Now, Dan, when you look at the number of free agents, the one advantage that you have with your own is the other teams can't talk to them until after the World Series. So you have at least a month, maybe a little more than that. Will you be proactive in this time to at least try to get one or two of them done, if that's what your plan is, to bring those players back, which, of course, we don't know if you're planning to bring those players back.
No, it would be in our interest to get going on that project. No, we're going to be working on it this month.
No doubt.
The other thing, too, is what we have to remember is there's also the matter of qualifying offers, and that's got to be a balance. Now, no player has ever accepted a qualifying offer, and I would guess that has to be a good discussion with your staff of how many of these free agents you extend that to, because it's probably going to be, $16 million this year.
Well, the good news is that if you lose the player and you've extended a qualifying offer, you get a top draft pick. So we're not without other options in the talent market if we aren't able to sign these players. But we're going to try to sign some of these players. The qualifying offer, I think the price is up to almost $16 million a year. So you got to be pretty confident that player can help your ball club and help your ball club a lot before you extend the offer.
Well, Danny, it really, in my mind, I still think that this ball club had enough quality players on it to win this division again. We had our little stretches up and down. I know I'm very disappointed at some of those down stretches, but still at times this ball club together has really played well, a week or 2 weeks at a time. And it's really kind of heartbreaking, be sitting here together with you and knowing that today's our last day. We ain't showing up for work tomorrow.
Yeah.
He is.
Tomorrow's the saddest day of the year. There's no game, right?
Yeah.
I think we're all disappointed that we didn't get back to the playoffs, because our expectations were that we get back because we got there 2 years. And this ball club had a lot of good traits and assets, but we weren't strong enough when it came time to hold the other team down. Again, we scored the same amount of runs. Any informed analysis of baseball team starts with the pitching and starting pitching, and we need to get better in that area.
All right, well, good luck tomorrow on your opening day of the offseason. I know you're going to be very, very busy, you and your staff, and we always appreciate your time coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Had a good time this year, boys. Let's do it again.